Sunday final, the Mercedes-Benz post-game show. I'm Colleen Wolfe with Steve Weich. What an ending, Steve.
Yeah.
I have so many questions about that final sequence for the Colts, the decisions that were made, the clock management as well. They burned timeouts there that they didn't have to. Walk us through what we just saw.
Well, first off, it was a great game that we saw great performances by Nico Collins, a wide receiver for the Houston Texans, and C.J. Stroud. But running back Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts was the star of the show, and when it mattered most, he wasn't on the 30 seconds that they could have had that could have proved valuable, and this is the 4th and 1 play. It's set up, right? It is beautiful. Had Tyler Goodson caught that or Minshew put it on him a little bit better, we might be talking about the Indianapolis Colts winning this game. But again, Jonathan Taylor, who had 30 touches, who got them down in that position to have that 4th and 1, he was not on the field. He had 2 catches. We know he can handle the ball. Maybe Shane Steichen was trying to trick the Houston Texans with the personnel shift. And again, it was there. The play was there. It's just that there was no connection with Goodson and Minshew. It was there. So there's going to be a lot of questions. But had they made that connection, again, we might be talking about the Colts getting that playoff berth. But let's look at T.Y. Hilton, the former Colt, Colleen.
And just by the way, Steichen had leaned on the run game the entire game. He was so patient with that run game and then went away from it in the biggest spot possible. T.Y. Hilton, former Colt wide receiver, JT would have caught it. I'm just saying.
And I want to make a point, too, to go. I mean, that's cold right there. But a point right here when I talk about the fact that they had to burn a timeout. Had they been decisive earlier, Houston, they could have called a timeout when Houston got the ball back on that other possession and still maybe had 20 to 25 seconds on the clock to at least try to generate some type of yards on this play. He had 8 yards receiving, and Goodson just can't hang on. It was there. That's one thing we cannot forget. The play design and everything was wide open. They just failed on the connection. So for as much as we want to question everything, had they just made that catch, it was there. It was a well-designed play. Don't like some of the mechanics as we've been discussing at the end. But you know, salute to the Colts this season, but that one is going to sting.
Well, yeah, and talk about this Texans run defense coming into the game. It was like, how are the Colts going to be able to run on them? Well, we watched them entire game. No one ran on the Texans like the Colts did, and they did it twice this year. And then with the biggest play in the biggest spot, you don't go to your guy who had been hot the entire game, even after he got hurt. It was an ankle injury. First, we thought it was a heel, then it was an ankle, then he was back in there as well.
Came back in and soldiered up on that last drive.
Yeah, so Jonathan Taylor, he had himself a night. It just was not enough. Had the most rushing yards since almost 3 years ago to the day. But someone who also had a wonderful night, C.J. Stroud, his connection with Nico Collins was just next level.
So, okay, so this catch you're seeing right here, this play right here came on a 12-play touchdown drive, which gave the Texans the lead. But we talked pregame about the poise. He stood in there and took some blows. He made some throws after getting sacked in desperate plays to Nico Collins. This was the first play the Texans ran of the game to set up the touchdown to go up 7-3. The connection he had with Nico Collins, 9 targets for Collins, 9 catches, 195 yards. The way Nico Collins came up and made some great catches as well. When his quarterback was in desperation, some of the scramble drill efforts that he made, it was just absolutely, okay, this is the first touchdown, right? Third-year player, just really gets a quarterback, and you see what he's showing out here to do. But he kept on moving the chains, Colleen, all night like this. And then Stroud, he hung in there, went back to his guy. Nico Collins caught probably 70% of the throws tonight, but because he delivered like this bang. That was a huge second-half catch right there to keep things going. Another chain-moving catch right here. We saw this over and over. Again, that was so big.
And when even that first play for the Texans, that bomb to Nico Collins, they became the first team to score on their first offensive play this entire season. In the final week of the regular season. And even that first half, Nico Collins had 129 receiving yards. The Colts at that point had 133. And he just continued to play and produce the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it was a struggle. You know, let's not make this seem like this was like gangbusters offense that we saw. Both of these defenses really soldiered up. And with the Colts and Gus Bradley, what they were doing to the Houston Texans, they limited them on the ground, and they were bringing very creative pressures on Stroud all night. But he hung in there. He took sacks when he took sacks when he needed to. He didn't make any errant throws to put the ball or his receivers in harm's way. And again, for a rookie, the plays that he made in this game in crunch time, which we've seen him do all season long, once again showed why he's probably going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Puka Nacua is going to have one hell of a game on Sunday against the 49ers to snatch it from him. It's between those two. But this right here, taking a team that won 3 games last year and getting them to the playoffs with a first-year coach, a first-year play caller, a first-year quarterback coach, that is a franchise-altering acquisition right
He
there.
absolutely looked like a veteran quarterback out there in the fourth quarter, leading his team, taking them to the playoffs. They have a chance to win the division if the Jags lose tomorrow as well. So this is what a victory for both C.J. Stroud and DeMeco Ryans in their first year together there. And what a blessing that they drafted Stroud second overall this year, because he has been a perfect fit in that system in Houston. And Nico Collins has absolutely blossomed as well. And he is with our Bridget Condon.
Nico, your first 2 seasons with this team, you combined for 7 wins. You guys now just got to 10 wins and earned a spot in the playoffs for the first time since 2019. How does that sound?
That's big time. That's big time, man. This is the whole city needed. This team needed, man. We just been working, and it paid off. You know, and the sky's the limit for this team, man. We're just excited to see what happens.
195 yards and a touchdown. But I want to go back to the very first 5 away from 200. I want to go back to the very first play of the game. Was that the plan, like, all week?
Yeah, it was. It was the plan. Go out there. You know, if they in the right perfect defense, man, we're going to take a shot. You know, Seven trusted me. I trusted him. He laid the ball out there and made it happen for the team.
C.J. Stroud in his first year. First primetime game tonight. A lot of people talking about potential Offensive Rookie of the Year. What has it been like to play with him this season?
And the dude's locked in, man. Calm and collected. You know, that's one guy that's always been locked in since day one. You know, every time he step on the field, you can tell he got that demeanor with him. You know, he ready to lead the team, man. And you can just tell he got that it factor, you know, and it shows every single week and every single Sunday, man. And the dude got it. The sky's the limit for him, man. I'm excited to see what happens for him, for sure.
For you guys, because not only do you get into the playoffs, but you could win the division if the Jags lose tomorrow. Take me through those emotions in the next 24 hours.
Man, it's a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions in the air right now, I'm not going to lie. But, man, I just feel like I'm so proud of this team. We're proud of each other, man. You know, we came out here, we fought hard, you know, had fun with it, and that's all that matters, man. Got the win. You know, hopefully Jacksonville lose so we get it, you know, but I'm just proud of this team, man. Well deserved, you know. So we're going to enjoy this win in the locker room, you know, go back to the city, man. I'm hoping Jacksonville lose, you know, so continue to wait.
Will you be watching tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. Locked in.
Appreciate it. Congrats.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Nico Collins, the Michigan Wolverine, with a huge game 2 nights before the national championship. A huge weekend for him as the AFC playoff picture. We'll take a look here. And now we have the Texans in as the 4 seed for now. Of course, the Jags, it all depends on how that game, the outcome of it against the Titans, how it plays out tomorrow. But the Texans could continue as division winners with that 10-7 record. Now, the Texans defense, though, tonight, all season long, Steve, they've been really good against run games. And tonight, Indianapolis had 227 rushing yards. Is this going to be an issue moving forward in the playoffs? Are you concerned at all?
I'm not, because very few teams have offensive lines like the Indianapolis Colts, right? They play